folks? Hello, Joe here from DSO. We have now mid-August 24, quite a hot summer. The water is running again from the fountain. I show you today a walk through the orchard this year, and I can say it's the first year after we planted all these old-fashioned large fruit trees in, when was it, 2016? It's the first time. What is it? 8 years later that they really start to bear fruits. Let's have a look. Come with me. Let's go. From this tree we harvested already a lot. It's the gelbe Zwetschge von Grenchen. But today we have to bring in the rest because the wasps, they will make the harvest instead of us. And finally here a blue prune Fellenberg, one of the best, and also that one is full of prunes. Look at this. No wasps, so it means not yet ripe. Yeah, they are still too hard. Okay. This is also a very special tree. This is also a selection, breeding of the Swiss breeder Marcus Kobelt. 2 trees here called Robusticose, derived from the Russian black apricots. So it should have an apricot-like skin, so little, this kind of little felty, is that the right word, skin, and taste close to an apricot. Not yet ripe, but this tree is carrying quite a bit of fruits already, despite the fact they are here, I think, only for 4 years now. It showed some great growth. This is a Mirabelle de Nancy. It's also a French cultivar. These 2 trees we harvested this morning. Not perfectly ripe. This is what I mean if I say eat them all. It's not an exaggeration. They are also on the tree. They eat the trees, the fruits hanging on a tree, and it's not the first time. They just finish our harvest. The point is that the big insect decline you hear everywhere is not happening here. Here, where nobody uses insecticides, we have huge amount of wasps, hornets, everything you want, wild bees, honeybees. We have to pay a toll. Look at this. This tree, this apple is called the Sternapi, and it's said to be from Roman times. And here you see something very interesting. There's one branch going down and it's full of fruits. The rest of the tree is okay, but not special. So that confirms the old rule that leaf branches which are going down on a tree, they will bear fruit. And if you look at those which go straight up, they have nothing, zero. They are the so-called suckers, Wasserschoß in German. They will not yield fruit, not at this time. The speciality of this apple, you see it, it's not round. It has 5 distinct, should I say, corners, bulges. This tree is called the Finkenwerder Herbstprinz, and for the first time he's bearing apples. Not many. I count maybe 10. Here we have a good example. If you leave too many apples in proximity of each other, they will not develop, become small, rotten. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is the whole row close to the street. In the background you see our cat. Because we have here a rodent population, you wouldn't believe it. Only the wasps are more plentiful. So let's see this one. Okay. But again here, these are too dense. I throw out now some, because yeah, they will not. This is called thinning out. Too many. Some are on the floor already. Let's see. Yeah, not yet ripe. What cultivar is this? Honestly, do not remember. Is it the Bittenfelder Sämling? Could be. Again, here some branches, quite packed. Again, this branch here going down has most apples. Okay, also for this tree, it's the first time to bear some fruits. This tree has a label. Good. What is it? No, that's the Bittenfelder. And we have a few apples. Not too many. Oh no, quite okay. It's also first time. And here again the same. Much too dense. They will not develop. Pity. I have to turn back to make better pictures because I'm walking towards the sun. And that's not so good. So the Bittenfelder has some apple. First time, not a lot, but great. Next one. Okay. Also there. Same picture. Wow. Oh, that's also, let me see which one this is. Yeah, that's the Goldrenette von Blenheim. This guy was bearing fruit before. Again, the deep branches. Okay. This pear, I think it's the bunte Juli-Herbstbirne. I know, bunte Herbstbirne. Need to check. Is growing very slow and I'm not satisfied at all. I do not know why this tree is missing some vitality. This tree, also first time having fruit. I see some rotten ones on a tree. This is the gold Parmene, a very old cultivar from the Middle Ages. Okay. I'm not so happy with the healthiness of the fruit. Let's see. So this tree is the Zitronen-Rennet from the Rennet family. Also a first-timer. Interesting, the fruit have this brownish, we call it rust. Rust, is it the same in English? Look at this tree. Majestic crown, but everything going straight up. Not one single apple. That's the Luikenapfel, coming from southern Germany, but the name Luiken to me is more Dutch. Strange. That's the Osterapfel. That's an old Swiss, or old, I don't know, but it's a so-called Süßapfel, a sweet apple, having basically no acid. And I was told it's one of the greatest apples for desiccation. So make the speciality we have here in Switzerland a lot. Äpfelringli, apple rings. This tree, this little tree, is a huge surprise. Also this one was dying back, or I should be more precise, a big bird landed on it. It broke the main stem. Nevertheless, this little tree made fruit, pears, collected one here on the ground, and here's another one. Doesn't seem to be ripe, but hey, this is a performance. Small tree and doing so great. I will show you the biggest pear tree we have, and since 8 years not having produced one single pear. This tree is here for 2 years now, and look at that. This one is an experiment. It's almond. I'm special cross, I think, even with a peach, which is of the same family, I guess, to make it more cold resistant. Yeah, the tree, yeah, has made a nice straight stem. Let's see what this guy will do. Arrived at the top row. This is one of the puniest trees of all. Looks ill, terrible foliage, no fruit, But it's an old famous cultivar, Grafensteiner. I wonder what is with this guy wrong. I guess it needs a special fungus treatment. Probably next spring. I think I will do that. So let's go for this row. Okay. You see here I had to try to straighten this guy, and I wonder, is this a wound from this? Great color, size not as great. It tastes already good. Let's see. That's quite good. So what is it? It's a roter Winterhimbeerapfel. Wow. Next in the row, quite big tree. Not many apples, some up there. That's the Glockenapfel. Glocke means bell, so because of their bell shape. Again, the lowest branch has most apple. Let's harvest this guy here, fallen down. Normally those apples which fall first, they have some damage, some parasite in it, like this here. And here's the next one. I see some apples. Let's check it out. Okay, I see that this tree has also a fungus problem. You see those dots? We call it Schorf. It doesn't do big damage to the apple itself, but of course you could not sell such apples. So what is it? That is the famous traditional Berner Rosenapfel. Should become very red when it's ripe. But as I said, I'm not very happy with its resilience against this parasitic fungus. Next tree. Wow, it's pretty loaded with apples. Let's check that out. Again, this is for most of the trees the first time. They show quite some load of fruits. Okay. This is interesting. Again, we have where too many apples are, they do not really develop nicely. So I should have done this earlier, this thinning out. And you see it where there are many like this grape of apples. They are much smaller than these solitary ones. So this is what die Menznauer Jäger And on the ground there's a lot of activity of those rodents. I see their hills everywhere. They are a big pest because they eat the roots of the trees. They have a protection, but made of steel. But this is fading away in the soil, rusting, oxidizing. Yeah, need to do something here again to fight those terrible guys. What is interesting with this tree, it has lost or never made a proper middle stem, so the main stem, and under the weight of the apples, all the branches came down quite a bit, which is good. But the lack of a central stem, yeah, it's a bit weird. It's not what you learn in school, but okay. Now this guy. That is the biggest surprise. This tree breaks all records. It's one of the smallest, but it's loaded. And it's a very nice apple. It's the ananas rennet with a very special, great taste. Okay, I know this, the ananas rennet is a small apple. What I also have to say, this tree has a disease we call a tree cancer, maybe in English. Here I try to cut it out as good as possible and closing it with this this special formulated wax, which has some antifungal properties because it contains tree resin. I hope this great little tree will prevail. This tree is another guy. People ask me, what the hell is this? Because in spring and early summer, the foliage of it is red, not green, red. And red are also the apples. Not the first time for this guy, but he never made so many. And there's a very special thing about these apples. Let's have a look. So I picked up this here from the ground. Let's clean it a bit. I take a bite to show you. Bit sour still, but you see the flesh. It's not white, it's red. This is a red love tree from a Swiss breeder, Lubera, Markus Kobelt. Yeah, it's not ripe. Hope they gain still a bit in size. But a very special fruit, very special tree. That's the biggest pear I was talking about. Quite a tree, but I have not seen one single fruit. It's the Sommerapotheker-Birne. Yeah. Also here the rodents. Oh, these guys. They are a pest. Look at that labyrinth, that network of galleries they build in the ground, in the soil, to eat the roots of everything they like. That's the quince tree, and I see some quinces, but also this one has a fungus problem. I see it on the leaves, the dots. So doing quite well. And the trees next to the beehives, they were planted a bit later than the other ones because the first generation was dying back here. It was pears, but I substituted them with the quince and 2 more apple varieties. I think it's a Boskop and an Alland apple. Here, close to the tunnel, you see 3 more small trees, 2 hazelnuts. They are grafted onto a tree hazel, so they will not make bushes, but trees. And the top one, the small one, is a peach, a so-called Weinbergpfirsich. So small, relatively small peaches, but traditional in areas where there are vineyards. This is the neighbor's tree, a huge old pear towards the end of its life cycle. Majestic tree. And here, look at this. Here on the lower side there are all our plums and prunes. 6 different varieties. This is the Mirabelle de Nancy. It looks ripe soon. Let's check it out. You can be sure when you see a lot of wasps. That looks good. Great, that's the first time. And look at this.